An artist who's got a lot of fans, a lot of stats, it's all stacking up, and now he's getting ready to release a brand new mixtape. So please welcome to the show ahead of a repeat of today's cover of New Music Daily. NF is here. Oh my gosh, that's how you start a project right there. Ambitious, sort of vicious, not chauvinistic. NF right here. What's up, man? Good to meet you at last.
Well, dude, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you having me on.
I'm excited to see you back, and you know, it looks like you're being loose right now. You know, you've been really loyal to your craft, project after project after project. The aesthetic remains dark, bleak in terms of the way it looks, the music, very deep, very personal. But right now, you know, we got a demo, we got a sort of mixtape coming. It sounds like you're sort of shaking that off a little bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, I like to do everything. Like, if you look at all my records, I've always liked, after I did the first record, Mansion, it just kind of naturally started happening where every record, because I was writing about my life, and, you know, it just, all the stories just started connecting, and then the covers, and, like, you know what I mean? So I'm a huge fan of movies.
Yeah.
So I just started combining all those things with my videos and my covers. And then obviously when COVID happened, I think everyone was kind of shaken up. I was touring at the time, and so I got home, and I was like, well, I don't know how long this is going to go on. So then I was like, I didn't really want to release a full length if I couldn't tour it, because it's a huge part of my records. I like to build the shows and have, you know, stuff from the covers and the videos and all that stuff. I like making it all one
Bring
thing.
it to life. Yeah, of course.
So last year we kind of went through, like, I kept going back and forth. It was just really confusing on, is this a record I'm working on? Am I working on like an EP? Am I working on something more like, you know, a mixtape? Is it longer than an EP? Is it weird? You know what I mean? And so it wasn't until later in the year last year where I was like, all right, well, this doesn't seem to be going away. I'm like, I don't want to release a full length right now. So that's why I ended up, it was weird. I always am very strategic, and I'm still being strategic on this project, but it was just kind of things I never had to, you know, well, most anybody in any job, you know.
You have to look at the spaces in between the lines that you've drawn for yourself. Yeah. Because like you say, it's like, let's take a look at those lines real quick. All right, here's an NF album, here's an NF tour. Let me go back, let me be inspired, make another album of the tour. You're creating, this is a ladder effect, and with every step you get higher and higher and higher and higher and closer to what you want to achieve artistically and creatively, and then that manifests itself in the material success and constructs of that nature. But there's all this space in between those steps, right, that you probably never explored. And it sounds like this is coming out of that space. Yeah,
my struggle was, like, I like to make albums that have so many different styles, and this record still has that. Well, I'm not even calling it a record, because I'm just like, I want people to listen to it. My whole goal with this project is for people to listen to it and get excited about the next thing. Yeah. The next thing that's coming. That's not me trying to say, I hope everyone just listens to this once and goes, oh, that was good, and moves on and is ready for the next thing. I don't mean that. I just mean, I know it's not an album. I wanted to make it very clear that it's not a record. I think there's some really cool songs on it, and I'm really excited for the music videos to come out. But yeah, it was just that, like we were saying, you had to call some audibles and come up with a different plan. You know what I mean?
You actually talked about it in the song as well. You said you know, there was a moment where you talk about, you know, made a move that you know, some would call ballsy, some would consider ballsy, you know, like, I just took it as you like, I got to wrestle it back and I got to define this myself, because I can't wait around for the world to wait, you know, to start again. And my team are probably waiting for me to make the decision. I mean, you put it in your own context. That's kind of what I got from it. Yeah, the ballsy line was more about, like, I feel like up to this point, I've built a fan base, me and my team and everyone that, you know, works with me on this stuff. I've built a fan base that's really strong, but I think they also expect a certain level of improvement and a certain level of, you know, whatever, like in each project. And I expect that of myself. But the ballsy line was really specifically, it was kind of talking about that, where it's like, I do feel like it's a weird ballsy move for me to drop this, because I know it's not an album. But it's been a long time since I've released music, so I know there's going to be a lot of fans that are probably like, oh, you know, I thought an album would have dropped by now. That's the sound of NF is back. Brand new Mixtape and Clouds, your first taste of it. That's the cover of New Music Daily right here today on Apple Music.
New Music Daily on Apple Music.
Let's catch up with NF real quick one more time. I sort of wonder, like, what you do in between projects. Like, do you go crazy? Is it just impossible for you to harness your energy unless you're creating?
I just love making music. I'm so passionate about it. You know, sometimes I worry about what I'm going to do when I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? I've been doing it for so long, and this is the longest I hadn't ever toured, so that was really strange. You know, like we were saying earlier, you get in a rhythm. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess, like I was saying with the ballsy line, and there's a couple other lines in there where I was like, I was going to wait, but, you know, I had to give you guys something. Like, I just, personally, myself, I'm also excited about some of the songs I didn't put on this project, specifically just because I think I don't want them to be looked over, you know, because I'm proud of them, and I think they're the step forward that I'm wanting to do.
But that's okay. Every project serves a purpose, right? And at the end of the day, if you can't continue on the trajectory you were on, which is climbing those steps that you set for yourself, then music can play a completely different role for you, you know? It's still as honest as we've come to expect from listening to your music. It's that part of your motivation and the desire to keep moving forward, a fear that there's something behind you.
Yes, I mean, if you're an artist, it's a weird job to have because you can be forgotten in a year. You know what I mean? It's, I mean, you can get fired from any job. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I do feel like artists, you just have this clock that you can always hear ticking in the background.
Awful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's rough, man. I think it was there by design in order to create motivation and productivity. I really think it's that Machiavellian. That's just me, maybe. I don't know. I just think it's this idea of like, you're never too safe. Keep going.
Yeah, I love working. Touring was something that that was such a weird experience for me. And that was when I had my mental break. 2017 or whenever I put out my Perception album, and my first time getting a song on the radio and doing interviews every day and doing VIPs every day and doing shows every day. And it sounds it's a hard thing to talk about sometimes because it sounds like you're complaining about something that's actually amazing. Like, it is amazing.
But you've got to, listen, man, you've got to, I'm a willing part of this conversation because I've had this conversation a million times where people assume because you dreamed of this, that you should just shut up and deal with every part of it. But what people are missing, what we're all missing, is that enforced sociability within the artistic environment is actually super challenging because you make music because most of the time you feel antisocial.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and a lot of times for me, it was the VIPs and the radio. It was just so much interaction with other people that it was extremely overwhelming.